Or you wouldn't happen to be a doctor, would you? Because I happen to be looking for one.
What is happening, y'all? So I just watched the first episode of Fallout last night, and as someone who's never played the games, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the series so far. I'm planning on watching episode 2 tonight, so let's talk about it. But before we dive into this review, like I say in every other video, do not forget to subscribe down here. Trying to get to 1K before 2025. Like, comment, and share. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd as well. So mainly the first episode of Fallout, what it focuses on, because there's only 8 episodes. All episodes are out right now if y'all want to go check it out. It's really good so far. And I know I'm only on the first episode, but it mainly has 3 stories in one. And it's about our main character, Lucy, the ghoul, and cannot think of the other guy's name. I can't. But it does a good job of intertwining all 3 separate stories in just one long episode. So that's starting off my positives for this episode. We'll talk about the positives, and then we'll talk about the negatives. Like I said, the story, just as one episode. It's very long episodes, about an hour, 21 minutes. And it does a good job of intertwining and connecting these 3 stories in just one long episode that you don't think will intertwine at first, but they do, and it doesn't bog the story down at all. These characters are very, very likable. I am someone who has never played the Fallout games in my life, but these characters already from the beginning are very likable. They have good personalities. They know what they have to do in order to survive, and these characters struggle because of what happened with the Fallout, you know, and just wait till you see the beginning scene. People were comparing it to the Last of Us opening scene for the series. I love the Last of Us show. A few episodes I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I would say that I think the Last of Us opening scene is better. You know, but I think that this opening scene was great. And there's a scene, and if you know what I'm talking about, ooh, I'm like, it has to do with Walton Goggins and his son. And I'm like, oh no. If you know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, just watch this episode. You'll know what I'm talking about. It visually, just like The Last of Us, this episode, or this series so far in this episode, is visually beautiful. Like, some of the shots for a TV show are cinematic, you know? And I know over where I live, about probably 50 minutes, 40 minutes, there's a huge IMAX theater that they showed the first 2 episodes of Fallout. And it would have been cool to go, but I didn't know about it till late, you know? But yeah, it's visually stunning, and it's really awesome to look at. And I'm like, I really wish I would have seen this on a big screen, you know? And I looked at other advanced screenings for the first 2 episodes, and they were out of Texas, where I live, out of Texas. So I didn't get to see it on big screen. It would have been cool, but yeah, it's visually beautiful. And the writing for these characters is immaculate. There's nothing to complain about. And like, it's just the way these characters are written. Whoever wrote this episode knows Fallout, you know? Like, I'm someone who doesn't know Fallout. I'm not a fan of the games. I've never played it, but what I've seen, it's cool, you know? And can we just talk about the suits in this? I think it's called T-60, something like that. I want one of these suits. And if someone can ever make this actual suit where you can walk around in, oh, I want one so bad. These suits, better than Iron Man's suit, in my opinion. I know that's a whole different thing, a whole different franchise, but I want one of these suits. Like, it is cool. It is very, very cool how they look, how they move. Just the CGI, I don't know if it's practical or CGI. That's the thing. I can't tell. That's how good it is. Going back to the story, it works well. It breathes well, and it doesn't lose its pace, you know. And I'll get onto the, I'll talk about this during the negatives part of this video. But I was bored a few times, but other than that, it was only a few times. It doesn't lose its pace. It doesn't. It keeps on going and going and going, and it doesn't stop. The action is nuts, and I'll get into that right now. The action is absolutely insane. I don't know if I'd say it's absolutely insane, but I would say the action's good for what it is in this first episode, you know? And I haven't seen the other episodes yet. I plan on watching episode 2 tonight and reviewing it sometime, but probably tonight or tomorrow. But it's brutal. It's a brutal show, and I heard that it was, and I was like, okay, let's see. Yeah, it's brutal. It's probably more brutal. Well, I saw Civil War. Different thing. It's a movie. This is the show. But Civil War was brutal. If you haven't seen that, my review's down below. Follow me on that. Go like that video. Yeah, it's a brutal show. It's very brutal. And I cannot think of the main actress's name who plays Lucy. She's a great actress, but I swear I've seen her in something. I cannot think of what it is. But can we talk about Walton Goggins? The dude is one of the best actors in the business right now. Just the way he plays all of his characters, every movie that he's been in. Like Maze Runner: The Death Cure. He played an awesome villain. I guess you could say his character was a villain. Don't remember his name, but that's one of my favorite movies. I absolutely love that film. I know most people didn't. I was like, okay. But he played in Ant-Man the Wasp. He was great in that. But Walton Goggins is just one of the best actors of all time. And he's one of my favorite actors, and I'm glad that he's getting to play these parts. And the way he plays the ghoul, he was right for that role. So those are my positives for the first episode of Fallout. For Fallout, I really enjoyed it. Now getting on to the negatives. I don't have very many negatives, and that's a good thing to say. That is a very good thing to say. Like I mentioned in the positive section of this video, it was very light, but I was only bored a few times. I was on my phone a little bit, but I was watching a live stream as well while trying to, so multitasking, you know, but I was only bored a few times. I mean, I was into it almost the whole time, you know, and I only have one other negative. My only other negative is that, so this episode is 1 hour and 21 minutes, and I do feel like it was a bit long for the first episode, but I feel like I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it a big old grand setup story in a way in the first episode, and I like how they did that. I like what they were trying to do with that, and it really, like I said, didn't bog the story down. Like I said, only bogged the story down by it being a little too long, but other than that, I don't have any main negatives for the episode so far. I really don't. But overall, I really enjoyed the first episode of Fallout. Coming from someone who is not familiar with Fallout, this is my introduction to the franchise, you know, besides video games, just in the show. I am going to give this first episode a 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. I like how fans of Fallout and people who are not familiar with Fallout, as myself, are coming together and enjoying the series so far. And I really just like how it's bringing people together, and it's just really cool. So I know y'all always hear from me and y'all always hear my thoughts, but I want to hear from y'all as well. Give me y'all's thoughts down below. What did y'all think about the first episode of Fallout? What have y'all thought about the other episodes of Fallout so far? Have y'all finished the series? Maybe not. Let's not spoil it, but let's talk about it down below. A civil conversation. I love talking to y'all. And like I said in the beginning of the video, do not forget to subscribe down here, like, share, and comment down below. Try to get to 1K before 2025. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd down below as well. I post reviews on there. And until next time, my wonderful people, I will talk to y'all later. Cheers.